Hello, welcome. It's commentary time for Do You Expect Us to Talk? It is a lovely day outside, even though it's a pretty shit day overall. We are recording, of course, on the same day that Sir Roger Moore has passed away. So we were going to record this, ironically enough. It's the Roger Moore Films for Eyes Only. And joining me as ever is Dave Bond and Rebecca Andrews.
Hello.
Good evening, folks.
So Becca was actually quite chirpy. There's me trying to be dead sombre and like, it's going to be a bit of a...
Actually, I'm crying inside and outside. It's been a very sad day for us all here at Do You Expect Us to Talk. Obviously, huge Bond fans and huge fans of Sir Roger, so it's been a very tragic day indeed. And thoughts and prayers with his family at this time.
Leaves me in a slightly difficult position overall because I've never been the most complimentary about his James Bond. But the thing I've always been consistent on, well, there's two things I've always been consistent on. Firstly, I think he's magnificent in the film we're going to cover tonight, and I mean that absolutely unreservedly. And the second thing is I've always really loved the guy. A lot of people are saying tonight about, I'm seeing people posting about memories of going to see him live. And I did about 18 months ago, I believe it was now. It was during the lifetime of this podcast. I went to see him live, and I think I mentioned it on an earlier show in relation to stories he told and their relevance to films in this series. He is my favourite Bond actor. He just never was my favourite Bond. But what we have tonight is, I believe, his finest performance in the role.
Yeah, but basically he's the favourite person who's played Bond, but not actually your favourite Bond on screen.
Yeah, I mean, I think just very quickly, I don't want to badmouth the other Bonds, and we are only going off perception, things we've heard, things we've been told. You know, Becca's met Roger Moore briefly, and if I'd met him as well, it would have been quite unrepresentative because you meet him in a queue and he signed something, and that's about it. But for example, I think Sean Connery's a far, far better James Bond. But you hear an awful lot of directors saying he was difficult to work with. You see interviews where he's being quite nasty. He seems to hold a grudge forevermore in terms of they can't get him to participate in anything Bond-related anymore. And what you've got, by comparison with Roger Moore, is an absolute gentleman that I'm seeing story after story, and have done for years, to be fair, that I've never read, I met him, he was an asshole. Every single person I've ever read that reports meeting him says what an absolute gentleman he was.
And that's what strikes me as well. He just comes across as like an actual genuine professional and a gentleman, like through and through. And even like that, I think he, like, as sad as it is these days, is to be admired. That's someone who, in my view, has to be looked to, someone to look up to. And yeah, for me, it's like it's kind of similar to you, Dave. I mean, it's weird because I grew up watching the Bond series, and I would say if you asked like a 10-year-old me who my favourite was, I'd probably go with Roger.
I would have done it 10.
Yeah, so Roger always has a soft spot for me. I would never trash his version as Bond because I've always got some enjoyment out of it. If I was being really hard critique, I would say yes, he's probably one of the least favourite, kind of portrayal of the character. But he made it his own, and I've always had enjoyment from watching him. And I've had, I can't sort of knock those memories of growing up. I mean, like I could even say he's part of the reason why I love Bond even now. So. And
he probably is the reason I love Bond, I would think. I mean, I wouldn't have gravitated to Timothy Dalton in the same way at 9 years of age. As much as I might, prefer his take now. He's quite an interesting sort of gateway for kids, because you think kids are all about, you've got to have youth on screen and all the rest of it, but you don't care about that sort of thing when you're 9. I went to see A View to a Kill, where she had a 57-year-old 58 by the time it came out. No, he was still 57. A 57-year-old leading man in it. And at 9 years old, you don't watch it and go, well, he's too old. You don't.
You don't care about that, do you?
No, I don't think the obsession with youth kicks in until you're a young adult yourself, funnily enough. But as I say, we're talking about an extremely nice man. We're talking about a guy who was always a gentleman in interviews. He was a fabulous storyteller. He's one of the last of that sort of golden age of Hollywood, and whilst there were bigger stars than him in that era in terms of diverse careers and everything else, we've lost someone very, very special as a storyteller and a man. It should be just mentioned without over-lionising the guy that he was actually knighted for his charity work.
Not this bullshit like knighthoods. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a question. Chris, I'm not making a political point on honours generally. I'm just making the point that Roger Moore himself, were he still around, would mark his most valuable contribution in life as UNICEF. And when you go to see him live, he finishes his show with a section on UNICEF. So he knows people are there to see him talk about James Bond, and he does a lot of talking about James Bond. But you can tell his face lights up when he talks about UNICEF. And so, an all-round good egg. And for everything I've said about his Bond, certainly in the first few films, I think he looked the part. I think he certainly looked younger than his age most of the way through. And a few times in this series, he was terrific.
I would say this. I mean, we might have a few laughs, should we say? And
we've got to. You can't listen to 2.5 hours of us going, "I miss him so much."
I know. But as much as today has been, I think it's very important to kind of carry on regardless. For
those of you listening to it in a week or two, or can't place what day he actually died on, or you're from another part of the world, where also the day after the Manchester arena bombing.
Yeah.
So it's been a pretty dark,
very difficult times at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a funny day, but I think it's just a reminder that we ought to carry on as if this was normal. We were going to do this anyway, regardless.
It's just a complete
business as usual, really.
So it's just a bit of a funny okay, well this has a bit more heightened meaning now, and
just as a point of order. Just to clue you in, we sat down to record Creed last night, the last of our Rocky shows, and due to technology, the recording failed, and we'd recorded nearly all of it as well. Not to worry, we'll do it again, but what we didn't want to do is record it 2 nights in a row, because you'll say something and you'll say, "Did I say that last night? Or have I said that already?"
I don't want to repeat ourselves.
Wanted to leave a couple of days, so we said, well, let's do the Bond commentary. So last night, while Roger Moore was alive and we didn't know anything about him being unwell, we said, okay, and it's my turn anyway. I'd swapped my choices because it was going to be my second commentary film, but I watched The World Is Not Enough about 2.5 months ago and really had a bad time with it, and I thought, I'm not ready to watch it again. So I chose this film, ready to watch tonight, and of course this has happened today. I'm only pleased I've chosen the one I really, really like. I think had I chosen Octopussy tonight, we'd have had to swap them.
Oh dear.
I don't think you'd ever choose Octopussy.
No, I don't think you'd ever choose that.
It would just be... but it would be inappropriate because, like Chris says, we got to carry on regardless, and the somber mood will disappear, and we will take the piss out of Roger during this if there's something to take the piss out of.
Probably the music more than...
This is a commentary that people are still going to be listening to long after the pain of him passing away has passed. But as a baseline before we start, if you go back to our original commentary, we were all extremely complimentary to this film and to Roger Moore in this film.
Yeah, it's my favourite. It's my favourite film with him as Bond. I think it's his best performance as Bond.
I agree.
And I think, as much as we may take the piss out of his acting a little bit, I think there's absolutely no denial. It's you can't deny the fact that Roger Moore was a genuine movie star. He had on-screen charisma by the bucket load.
Huge screen presence.
And
you've only got to compare him to someone like Pierce Brosnan to see that.
I think even if he was on film in his later years, a year or so ago, he'd still have something about him. You know what I mean? He'd still have that kind of thing.
A lot of it's the voice.
Yeah,
I've always envied that voice.
You immediately know. Even if you can hear him before you see him, you immediately know who it is. And it's really distinct as well.
It's kind of like Sly, isn't it? Sly's very
Yeah.
I remember watching.
What are you doing?
I remember watching the Guardians 2, and you can hear Sly before he's actually on screen.
Exactly.
Oh,
you
here
know
he
who it
comes.
is. You recognise like the pitch and tone of the voice, and you think, oh, that's Sly, or in this case, oh, that's Sir Roger.
It can make me thinking, like, if I was like in a public place and I heard that, I'd be like, oh my god, Sly's around the corner. You'd be like, dead silent. So but Roger Moore definitely had that kind of thing. He had the charisma. Of course, he had his twit, like the eyebrow. That was like a common thing
trademark.
for him. Yeah.
And he made fun of it all.
Yeah, he's very self-deprecating as well, and he kind of, he's quite cheeky in a sense of humour, and you could tell that he really revelled in it. He really enjoyed it, and was also he was very modest as well. Despite being this big movie star, he always kind of played it down, and was very modest about
himself he described himself as the 4th best James Bond.
Oh.
And I don't actually agree with his order by any means. But I just think to just publicly say
when was that? Was that only 4 Bonds, or when he said that?
No, that's since Daniel Craig's been in the role.
Okay, so it was like before him.
I'd like to know these other rankings.
His favourite James Bond is Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Second was Connery. Third, you won't believe.
Brosnan.
Nope, Lazenby.
Yeah, George.
He thinks he's better than Tim and Pierce. Now, I'm not so sure on Tim for obvious reasons. I think I'm slipping towards... The thing is, we're going to watch a really great film tonight, and there's a couple of others in his canon that fall into that category. And whilst I know GoldenEye has its defenders, I don't think Pierce Brosnan ever did a great Bond film.
No, he came...
He came kind of close.
He had moments. He had like...
Scenes, bits.
You burned me.
That gets more Welsh every time I do it.
I'll turn into Tim Dillon by the end of it.
In a minute, I'll be going out and buying a bag of fucking leeks or something.
It's almost on level, like, it's about to get a bit nasty.
Yeah. Sort of broad lilies. Dear.
Oh dear, all the bad Welsh. Exactly,
Well, there's no point living if you can't feel alive.
I can't wait to get to that film.
Well, we weren't going to do it tonight, but I changed my mind, and actually, I think with the events of today, we would have changed it anyway.
Yeah, I think it's fitting. So shall we just crack on then?
Let's crack one off.
Let's crack one off, then watch the film. Right, okay, so it's...
whatever you guys do,
it's...
yourself.
Yeah, just give me, like, a minute, and then I'll...
I literally like to share the
quick.
love.
Yeah, it only takes a minute.
So... There's a song about that, isn't there?
There is. So it's business as usual. We're on the Initiate mission on the Blu-ray. For anyone who wants to join us watching the film, of course we will talk as much as we possibly can. Regardless, if you want to just not bother watching it. And so is everyone ready?
I'm ready.
So on 3, I will press Initiate mission on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Right.
I see the lion.
We've got Leo.
I bet the lion's dead as well by now.
It's the same lion. He's just over 100 years old. No.
Yeah. Actually, they have gone through a few.
They have gone through a few lions.
That one's a Leo.
Were they called anything else as well?
Well, they've all got different identities. The MGM lion over the years, but it's been Leo for decades now.
Oh, there's the flared.
I've put the subtitles on and they're Rogers. I'm gonna have to change them back to the film. Keep going, it's all right.
The same.
I don't want the subtitles of his commentary. I want the subtitles of
No, I've done the same. Don't. Oh, we've been there.
Where is it?
It's this famous church. No, actually.
Oh, brilliant! Jesus.
Is a
music. St Giles. But literally, it's a stone's throw from Stoke Poges golf course. So literally, if you're obviously where they filmed Goldfinger, and literally from the golf course, Stoke Poges, you can see St Giles Church, and vice versa, which I think is incredible.
I think I said this during the review.
Yeah, it's in Stoke Poges. He's telling you.
What I don't get with this is they need to find Bond. When Bond isn't on a mission, he's normally shagging somewhere. And there, they've actually called the church. What made them go, well, where's Bond? Call the vicar.
I imagine it must be like, is it an anniversary of his wife's death, baby? I mean,
that's what you must think. That's what I must think it must be. Now, I like this film, but I don't really like the pre-title very much.
Did we ever find out if this priest was good or bad? Is
No.
it a spectre or
Doesn't matter.
is he just a normal
I do kind of like that. He has a British horror quality to it. You know, just seeing him like do that cross. But I think it's just like it could be generally just like giving him a prayer, as in the fact that he's getting a helicopter.
Yeah, I've always thought that's what it was.
Yeah, it was just like an ominous kind of like omen.
There's Blofeld with his activity centre.
Too many activities.
He's got for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Or is it Fisher Price? One of the
Fisher
two.
Price, then, might be Fisher Price.
We'll stick with Tommy because
Other children's brands are available.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bit of CGI lightning or electricity.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, where they end up flying is largely where the O2 Arena is now, which was also known as the Millennium Dome.
I was going to say, geez. Wasn't that when it first opened, oddly enough, in 2000?
Oh, you were the one.
Yeah, that was me. Me and my family.
That's just how nice you are. You're just like, no one wants to go because it'll be shit.
That was me.
And you've got Becca going, oh, it'll probably be all right.
The thing with the Millennium Dome is, it just seems like even more of a shit idea. And with hindsight, you think, why?
There's some random bits of art there. Like, I remember there was this one like giant model of a boy, and I think that was the answer to a question that nobody asked. And there was another thing I remember was like the world's longest piece of music or something that was still being created and still being composed, and I was just like, what? Why?
They had no idea what they wanted to do with it other than we must mark the millennium.
Yeah, they must mark it somehow.
Urban regeneration or summit. Yeah.
The feed was quite expensive. It wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
whereas the O2's great.
Yeah, the A2 now is fantastic. Lots of, it's a really great venue.
It's got a cinema there as well and everything. So
cinema, lots of bars, restaurants.
Well,
shops.
I haven't been in the main O2 Arena, but I know what it looks like. I've been in the Indigo 2, which is like a little theatre within there.
Oh, I've not been there. That's quite
It's got loads of little bars and nightclubs and restaurants and a cinema.
And you can scale it as well, can't you? You can go. Is it up at the A2?
I don't know that.
And you can do like, what's it called? Not abseiling, but you can scale it.
Okay. I don't think
Which is very cool. Some people have done it.
And fun enough, this film was scored by Bill Conti, who did the Rocky stuff. See, the thing is that Roger could either just jump off there.
I know it wasn't.
It was like, oh shit, I could literally just jump off, go like a blood.
Yeah, but by the time Roger goes, yeah, but that's a 4 feet drop. Get me a stuntman. It's too late.
Okay, well, his stuntman could have done it, but you know what I mean, like in terms of his character. I bet he's kicking himself there now. I think Bond's like thinking,
oh shit.
What if that pilot was just like stunned?
Wakes up.
He was just unconscious.
Like, oh
right.
shit.
So he didn't even check if he was alive, did he? He's just like, oh.
No, he didn't.
But yeah, it's kind of like funny because coming off the Rocky films and we're going straight into a Bill Conti film as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't hear him.
This will be released early because we want it close to what's happened and the events as a little tribute to him. I suspect we may end up numbering it in the right order and everything else.
I mean, I'm tempted just to release it, just because of the timing.
We'll release it. It may still be numbered episode 75, and because Rocky may still make reference to this just for long-term sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out, but just for long-term sort of numbering and all the rest of it, we'll figure it out. But we have to re-record Creed anyway.
Yeah,
I really think the music is growing on me. Unfortunately, I was so against it before, but obviously having been through Rocky, but I'm just sort of like, it does really sound just like, it's like, oh my god, but it's growing for sure.
Oh, it does. It's a right earworm, most of it.
Earworm.
It's the wah-wah pedal that I like.
Yeah, it's all about that wah-wah.
This is incredible aim when you think about
it.
Imagine if he just sort of glanced off the side.
smacked his head. He goes like, oh,
there we go.
Oh,
I only hope there's a pop star of the day to sing to us.
I wonder who that could be.
do we know who was the eruption? Or was it was going to be Blondie, wasn't it?
Blondie, yeah.
That could have been interesting.
Well, actually, I think it was Debbie Harry, and she said, "No, the band come with me." Do they now?
Oh, do they?
And then you have I can't talk. Have you heard the Blondie song that they were going to
Yeah,
do?
it's not that good.
No, I think most of them are kind of crap.
I think
like
I
the
would
ones.
prefer
On paper, I would have preferred Blondie, but actually, the end result here is better.
Would you preferred Radiohead for their take on on Spectre?
See, I like Radiohead, but I did not like their take on Spectre at all.
It was just like, oh, right, you've done your typical regular Radiohead stuff.
It doesn't sound. Yeah, it's very typical Radiohead. But I think I'm sorry, but I'm going to defend that because I am a Sam Smith fan. But I'm Radiohead fan as well. But I think I would prefer Sam Smith in that respect.
Yeah, I didn't like the Radiohead song very much, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't like Radiohead as they are currently. I just think they're just
No, Radiohead were fantastic through about 15, 16 years ago.
Their sound was quite new, quite groundbreaking as well, wasn't it? It was quite different to what was going on at the time.
But yeah. So what's the theme here then?
water.
Morbid really thinks about it.
Lips.
Water lips.
Yeah.
Wet kisses.
Naked women with
Wet
guns.
lips.
And Sheena
Sheena
Easton.
Easton.
Yes.
Being very slinky.
It's just bizarre, all of this now.
It's a bit psychedelic, isn't it?
So she's just not that famous. Her fame hasn't endured down the decades.
No, she was obviously the big star of the day. I thought, right, let's get her in.
Yeah.
Very fine musician. Right.
Yeah, well, I wonder if people feel the same way about Sam Smith.
Well,
Yeah, in
we
20 years'
don't know,
time.
that's too
Do
early.
you remember?
Oh, I loved it when he sang. Yeah.
Money
classic.
on my mind, money on my mind. That's my Sam Smith.
They should have got Terence
Sounds
and
a bit
Benefit to do it.
Arse is on fire, yeah. Hey girl. Hey.
It's the fart solo was the best bit.
It takes skill, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So many of these people are gone now, aren't they? I mean, we're going to see somebody
Can't
put.
believe everybody's gone.
Well, John Glenn's still alive. He's 85 now, though.
No, he's still going. There'll come a point where it'll
Cubby's
be like
gone,
everybody is
obviously.
dead, Dave.
We're going to see Countess Liesel later, who was Pierce Brosnan's first wife. She died very young.
No, that was sad. I noticed it, and so is your accent. And that's probably one of my favourite Roger lines as well. There's a thing on Facebook today by John Ward, I believe, and it's like, okay, so this is very sad times. What is your favourite Roger line? So I'll put it to you guys. What is your favourite Roger Moore Bond quote from the series?
So does England.
Yep. Chris, what about you? Have you got a particular favourite line?
I don't know. The first one that stands out to me is keeping the British end up.
Yeah, that's a perennial favourite, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I was never.
But
fond of it. The other one I love will shock you because it's from Octopussy,
Oh, go on then.
where he says, "No, no, ma'am, I'm with the economy tour."
No matter what they're on a tour.
That's really funny. The funny thing is, I mentioned
Quite
it
witty, isn't it?
to Octopussy, and I was in such a negative mood on the night, I didn't even mention that line. But it is like one of my favourite Roger Moore lines.
Mm.
I didn't often find him. Let's put it a better way. I didn't find many of the lines they gave him that funny, but that line was funny.
No, he
The
delivered it
way
in
he
such a way.
delivered so does England. That just fucking brilliant.
No. One of my favourites is from Spy. I think it's like, can you swim? And then the other one is all his feathers and he still can't fly.
I just feel like some of those lines were a little bit overthought, you know?
No, I just think they're funny.
You also got like speak now or forever hold your peace. That's quite a good one.
Yeah, that's quite sort of very Fleming-esque lines.
That was a Tom Mankiewicz line.
It makes a point, so no pun intended.
So here we go. This is where the Tomy Activity Centre running joke came from.
Well, this is 1980s technology now, isn't it? So
And,
I can remember using a computer sim to that at school.
Do you think they actually do? I mean,
look at it! You can imagine him opening a till, and when he slams it, the thing falls off the top like an "Are you being served?"
I can't even remember when I first started working at a high street stationer. The tills looked a bit like that.
Do you think we're the BBC or something, Becca?
No.
Because you're always going, when I drank that commercial beverage.
Oh dear.
Which high street stationers was it? Ryman's?
No, it's W.H. Smith. Oh dear.
It's more than just a station.
Well, no, somebody might be listening and go, we should offer them, an advertisement deal.
Exactly, so name them. It's no point saying high street stationer and someone high up in Smith goes, I bet that's us. Let's send them some stuff.
Yeah, but if he just phones up and goes, right, I've got a good deal for you.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Good job it wasn't Woolworths then.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. That's making a comeback, I think, isn't it, eventually?
I think they're online.
They're online, yeah.
Online for a while.
Woolies.com or something.
How'd you get your pick and mix online? That's got to be fucking good.
I know. I just go to what's the other one now? Wilkinson's. There you are. Get your pick mix from there.
Good old Wilco's.
It's quite a horrible way to die. That scene, really. Just like being drowned alive.
No, I wouldn't. I'd say that'd be horrible.
There's no M, so just a bunch of people sitting around.
Yeah, taken probably. Well, I don't know if he was still alive at the point where they filmed this scene, but Bernard Lee, he died during the filming of this.
Didn't he? Bless him. What sitcom was he in? I can't remember.
He was in Waiting for God
Waiting for God, that was it.
with Stephanie Cole.
Yes, very funny.
It was okay. Oh, look at this. Go. Sat down, letting the blood flow gently back to his penis, ready for another go.
Oh dear.
Is that a red
Which is a busy
receiver or are you
woman.
just pleased to see me?
Go on the back phone.
She doesn't seem actually that like this place like, oh gosh, fuck this guy. She seems quite kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's fine with it. You don't know what the sort of.
He might be
You don't know
really
what
good.
the interview's like, do you? Yeah, and he might be brilliant. I mean, he sat down all the time. He must have conserved tons of energy.
Maybe that's why he has to sit down all the time, because he's just like too busy. Shagging away.
Yes, give us a kiss.
Oh, there's that parrot.
Yeah, Max.
Do you like a bit of the parrot?
Do you? Which bit?
The bit where he goes, give us a kiss.
Brilliant. Some top dialogue.
Children's favourite. Oh, come on.
I like how the plane actually
she's-
like sort of designed like a taxi as well.
Yeah, she's actually made quite an ostentatious entrance there, hasn't she, really? It's not like she's rowed out from the shore. It's like, here I am!
Look, Dad, I bought you a hitman.
Oh dear.
I was only hoping for socks.
Hello. It was raining.
Look forward to shooting you later.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's one of those Bond girls that I think as a kid, you don't see any great warmth in her. So you kind of don't gravitate towards her. But I think she's one of the more interesting of this era.
Yeah. I mean,
all kind of
she's smiling
well-rounded.
there, so, but in fairness, she's not really going to be a happy character, is she?
No.
She does spend most of the film being depressed. Well, considering, her parents were killed, but you just think, smile,
That's got me right browned off, that has.
At the same time, obviously, you got a sense, because a lot of the times in Bond films we see, obviously, going off on a sort of personal vendetta. And to have a Bond girl who kind of has that same motivation as well, I think it's quite rare for the series. Oh, he's gonna kill us.
Like game console control.
It is a little bit, isn't it, unfortunately? With a joystick. Is it Amstrad or a Commodore?
I don't know, just standard one, I think. How many often do you see blood in a Bond film?
No, you don't.
Well, you
Very
did.
early.
You did in Doctor No. Funnily enough, you
Red
did in
paint.
some of the earlier ones.
There was something you rarely see it.
This never happened to the other fella.
It's never happened to the other girl. Oh my god.
It's just she really breaks the fourth wall there.
How many pennies?
Money penny. Whoa. People do age, I know.
Bond's
but
arriving any
it's
minute. Must freshen up.
Still
But
the kind of.
She
Darn.
looks
the
like
sexy band.
she just looks like someone's gran though. That's the thing.
That's what I mean.
Oh, don't diss Penny.
Yeah, but they're all too old.
Well, then,
A feast for my eyes.
No. What about the rest of you? Mm.
Perhaps we misheard him. Perhaps it was, please, a fist in my eyes.
Oh, right. What can I do?
About what?
No, I had technical difficulties then. But I
Okay.
seem to have fixed them now.
All right, well done. Oh, it's got to be serious. Freddie Gray stood up.
ATAC.
Yeah, I know everything about that. This is the frequency. This is what it does, and it orders this. And it looks like a Tomy Activity Centre.
I kind of like that. It's just like excuse, like a bit of an exhibition, isn't it? To for Roger Moore just to rattle off a bunch of information.
Puzzle exposition.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anything that Bond doesn't know about. Tell us about the latest villain, Dr. Evil. What do you know about him? Fuck all,
Well, complete different film series, so.
Well, I know.
You can't expect me to know that. What do you mean, Moriarty? I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
So that was a poor choice.
Isn't he a villain in Sherlock Holmes?
In a Austin Powers movie? Oh.
I'm sure Agent Powers will be.
Yeah, we'll
Better
know all about that
suited.
instead.
Oh, that's the title of the film, look!
Isn't that like a law somewhere, or like there's some people who, when you go see a film, was like as soon as the title's mentioned, they stand up, applaud, and leave.
Probably.
I've always heard that there's like
That must be shit in the Rocky series. It comes like scrolling across the front and they walk right out.
But I always thought it was weird because you just wasted like money on a cinema ticket to go and see like what, half a film or a third of a film or something.
Does that count for porn as well? Sticking in my ass. Shit, that's the name of the film. Good night.
Good night, folks.
I wouldn't know.
No, nor would I.
Really? Oh, such a cool car. Shame they had to blow it up.
Oh, that gives it away.
Don't spoiler alert.
But hang on a minute.
Yeah, the amount of times he has to like go underwater as well,
Yeah. That's what you want. Yeah. I suppose that's vaguely camouflagey, that cardigan.
Is it a cardigan or is it like a light jacket?
I think it's a cardigan.
I'm gonna
Oh,
say
look,
light jacket.
octagonal glasses.
Where's that?
I was just mimicking the
Oh, there
quality
they are.
of Bond's eyesight there.
It was the fashion in
Steel blue. Nice.
the fashion in the time.
Yeah, but look, you can see it from that distance. Incredible. Do the exact colour of his eyes.
Oh no, he's got his binoculars there. That's why.
Yeah, no, but that's meant to be through the binoculars. Look, it's not giving him that much of an advantage.
He's a secret agent. What do you expect?
Secret agent man. So intimidating in those trunks, isn't he?
I know. In that era, it must have been dodgy if you had a big dick. Because they didn't cover much, did they?
I just took a sip of water then. It nearly came right out.
Why, really?
And he spluttered everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's a light jacket.
She had a drink of water and my dick nearly came right out.
That's not what I meant. No, I think Daniel Craig has those shorts.
Oh,
Take him away.
Take him away.
Take him away. They're very unconvincing death coming up.
Why is he like in charge of shit? Like he's meant to be just a hitman, isn't he?
Gonzalez, yeah.
Yeah, he's quite.
Well, no, he's just been paid for it. He's obviously paid quite a lot of money for
his services.
Yeah. Oh, look at that!
There you go.
Judo. Oh,
Judo chop.
Oof.
Excuse me.
Oh, what's the other thing they say on the trip? It's like he goes move, move.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at here we go! Oh, look at that!
It's good
The most manly parasol action.
It's a good job. It's bulletproof that umbrella as well.
He uses what's around him rather than having a gadget from Q Branch. He just uses his surroundings. Really good example of Bond being resourceful.
Yeah, brilliant. He probably found that cardigan in the field.
Borrowed it from one of the guards. Yoink.
Oh, we completely missed the Mary Poppins reference as well.
Oh yeah, Mary Poppins, y'all. Electra. That's not her name. But...
She's quite striking though.
She is, but she's not called Electra.
No, but she did because, like, she says that like Electra, she is half Greek.
Though for a determined woman, she's literally just gone like, okay, I'll come this random guy.
This man I've never met.
Yeah, but he's sexy.
He's wearing a light jacket.
Here we go, an anti-theft device. Go on, Bob.
Obviously a model.
Right, okay, well that's him ruined. Okay, in we get then. Why fit that on the fucking car?
Oh.
Maybe that is that sticker is the anti-burglar device. You're like, oh, best not go there. It's
yeah, but that means if a car sort of sideswipes you on the road, you just blow up.
Do she go?
Do you reckon Daniel Craig get away with getting one of these now?
Nah.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I don't think so.
Why not?
Not gritty and real enough.
I don't know. Have you seen Spectre?
Yeah. Where is the sort of foot wide mobile wardrobe was very similitude. I think I'll have a knitted tie for the next scene.
This is quite a cool car chase.
It's all right, actually. They make the best of what they have.
I mean, this is always like the serious Bond project. Well, actually, no. To be fair, there are some serious moments in this first two ones, wasn't there?
Yeah, there are.
I think this is probably like the most Fleming-esque, I would say. Obviously, this Roger's known for bringing more like levity to the Bond character.
More Fleming-esque than him wearing like flowers round his neck and going "Rupee!"
I'll keep him in curry. Just in terms of tone.
Oh, definitely. Well, I say definitely, only in that it's nowhere near as humorous, but the Fleming Bond's a bit of a bastard. It's probably the Man with the Golden Gun's closer in terms of the portrayal of the man.
Sure.
Well,
obviously, it's seen later on, obviously, where he pushes Locke off, off the edge of a cliff, and it's just like you can see Sean doing that, you can see Tim doing that.
Yeah, Roger did do it, and we still can't see him doing it.
Well, no, but I'm just saying it's quite shocking, having had that.
Roger Moore complained about that, though. He did.
Yeah, that was quite brutal.
That, and he still doesn't. He still raises it in his shows. Well, still passed away, obviously, but until recently, when he was doing his shows, he was still raising that as something he really hated doing.
No. Oh God.
Hey, what tension getting to you a bit?
God. I just can't get over the score. Oh my God.
I liked how they packed in that car.
Yeah, it was squeezed in. No, it's quite a tense chase though. So.
You think that car would be flipped quite easily?
Yeah. Oh.
There's no weight in it, is there?
Dup, dup, dup. Like a mini or something, but crushed on impact.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
drive
quite
the country, don't
robust,
you?
though.
Backwards, forwards, quickly. Oh dear.
I do love the 70s style, like facial hair and.
Woohoo!
Still the winter sports music that I love.
That's my favourite part of the score.
That Citroen is ruined.
Smooshed.
Still doing quite well though.
I think my godmum had. I don't know what she drives now. She lives in France, but I think she drove a blue one, blue TCV. It's quite cool from what I remember.
Well, if it was a 2CV, the chances of it being quite cool.
Oh no, I actually remember thinking it was quite cool because it had a very,
Really?
it was very odd shape. Also, I was
Okay.
quite young at the time.
I always thought they looked horrible. Remember as a kid, there were quite a lot of them around.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like,
unusual.
oh, that's horrible. Little did I know James Bond was making them cool. In his cardigan.
Did you just knock over a bunch of
Probably one of my
conkers?
favourite lines.
Is that conkers?
I don't know.
Was it olives?
This is me in action scenes. I wanted it to end about 2 minutes ago. I don't mind action, but this has just been going on too long now.
It is a bit of a long one, so.
Well, it always seems longer when you like got the sound off.
I know that, yeah. Because it's never bothered me when I'm
Yeah, I think it's
watching.
collecting olives.
Those are conkers, I think.
Are they conkers?
So,
Conkers or olives?
I just love a good drive in the country, don't you?
Yeah, that is one of my favourite lines.
She actually gets a smile of her there as well. My name's Bond.
We are defeated. No.
Do you also think that's his best delivery of the line? My name's Bond.
I quite like the one in Live and
I
Let
don't know.
Die. He leaves that the big pause between Bond and James Bond.
yeah. That's undermined a bit by the fact that no one in that building gives a fuck who he is. My name was Bond. James Bond. And it's like, so? In Live and Let Die. So is that a cardigan or a jacket? I think
It's a jacket.
Right.
An olive jacket.
Yeah.
It's going very casual there. It's very casual for Roger.
I know.
He's quite casual in this film, isn't he?
Well, you know, he's going gritty in this one, isn't he?
He is. I'm only surprised he didn't wear a wife beater.
Oh.
He could have made Die Hard obsolete 8 years before it came along. 7 years before it came along.
Oh, can you imagine Die Hard starring Roger Moore?
Yeah, very different.
What do you think? I'm ordering a pizza? I don't think so.
Brilliant.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I can't imagine him saying that. I don't know.
I was more a Roy Rogers man myself. That's gonna be me for the rest of the episode. I'm just gonna be sort of doing.
Picturing,
Lines you didn't
picturing
expect him to
himself.
say.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do like John McClane quotes, but I've done as Roger Moore.
I can't imagine him stood in the third one, stood in like New York wearing like racial slurs around his neck. Right, here we go. Watch this. Busy working day. They're all
Singing
busy.
in the rain.
They're all testing things exactly as he arrives.
What good's that umbrella when the blade stops short of the neck?
Yeah, they didn't actually do any damage.
It's like, ow, that kind of is a bit annoying. That's a bit awkward.
It scraped me slightly. So that started at somewhere about 30 and a half minutes. Let's see where it ends. This scene where everything gets shut up immediately.
Everyone's gone like, quick, he's going to the room. Let's
Let's
just
play
do
frisbee.
one. Let's all just do one.
Oh, he's going to do some tumble drying.
Tumble dry. Oh dear. Oh.
Whereas these days, you just use a laptop now, wouldn't you?
Probably.
God,
Look at those
computers.
fucking graphics.
I like the part where he goes, "It's a nose, not a banana." I think that was really funny.
That's not a banana cube.
Hurry up, get a move on.
Is this scene not fast moving enough? The whole office closes in about a minute.
Everyone's buggered
Have
off
they
by
had a
now.
cup of tea? I know. This plays as real time, right? There's no way they've been in there for hours.
Sorry. Ooh. Give us a kiss.
It's Derek Zoolander.
Blue steel.
Let's get out there in the poem.
He's in there all night.
See, like, you see everyone's buggered off now.
Bond eventually wins by like a walk off.
I hope Sharon gets paid overtime for this.
Their coats on. We are 2 minutes into this scene. Fucking hell.
And also, like, there's a reason why the
In
whole...
reality, the computer wouldn't have fucking booted up in this time, would it?
Like, it's a reason why the whole room's gone, like, red, as if it's, like, a dark room, but yet she just walks us in.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't it?
It's not. In
No, it's
use,
normal
do
light.
not
What's going on
enter
there?
it.
So it's to say, well, I just, yeah.
Perhaps it's used. Perhaps it's sentient and it's using all its power and personality to generate that picture. You never see any evidence that his bosses do anything with that information. Like, I just thought I'd tell you. All right, brilliant.
Yes, thank you.
Right, we'll get on it then. I suppose it's just like common practice to report in, because say if
I know.
say if Bong actually got killed, like they can actually hand over like, oh well, they found a lead on Locke. It's not, it's hand it to the next 00, I guess.
I leave it to you to lock up. I was like, they were in there 3 minutes in total.
Oh dear.
Blue actually looks really good, actually.
Oh, it does. This is a nice transfer.
This scene looks very beautiful.
Yeah.
That jacket does look warm.
Ferrara. The man with his finger on the pulse.
Yeah. He knows what's going on.
Introduces him to the lead villain and recommends him.
Poor Ferrara.
Then gets murdered.
Yeah.
Grazie
Both
mille.
thanking in Italian. I don't think this subtitle writer's a fucking linguist.
No, and then they say speaks own language. It's like, oh. I'm sure, like when you watch the DVD with the subs, it tells you what it is in Italian, or like in You Only Live Twice, it tells you what it is in Japanese or something.
I don't really mind that much,
You're fine up to an AM. Ooh,
Very
don't look
sneaky.
down.
What a trendy jacket that is.
Let's get the blue jumpsuit rather than the yellow banana jumpsuit.
It's not really a jumpsuit, is it?
Oh no, ski suit.
How incognito does this guy look? You imagine him. I always imagine him speaking. I know he's Italian, but I always imagine him speaking like the fucking policeman from Hello Hello.
Good morning. It just says this only once. Oh no, that was the other lady.
Yeah.
Listen very carefully. I shall say this only once.
Only once, and yeah, and she says it many times. Oh. Oh.
I just love the fact that like sort of just named the Italian Luigi.
Stereotypical at all.
Yeah.
Could have called him Mario. Mario time. Wahoo!
Waiting for us at the Olympic ice rink. It's like, yeah, you really needed this guy. He just points you straight to the like one of the most famous, richest people in town.
There he is.
Who's the lead villain? Brilliant.
think he was so close to being brilliant. All right, you're after this guy. I'll lead you straight to him.
Yeah.
Hey, problem is, I don't actually realise I'm doing it.
You know, with that styling, give him another 10 years and he could have been advertising KFC.
Well, who's doing it now? It's Rob Lowe now, isn't it?
What, Rob Lowe is Colonel Sanders?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds the obvious casting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been changing actors for the past few years. I think it was Norm Macdonald before who did it, and then
I never knew
someone-
that. Okay.
It's more in the States. It's like the adverts in the States. They have like actors who played Colonel Sanders.
Fair enough.
So, well, it should have been.
Do you know what? I really regret bringing that up now.
Oh, sorry.
Well done for sucking all the humour out of me. Snort. I'm pooped. There's some Bondian dialogue.
Some jailbait right there.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, the actress was about the same age as the one playing Melina. So, I mean, she is about 24, but she doesn't put 23, something like that, but she plays nothing like it.
How old is she meant to be in this? Is she like 19 or 17?
Uncle Harry, I mean, going on about that, most figure skaters aren't that old, aren't they? It's a bit like gymnastics that way. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't shag her, so you think, well, she's probably got to be underage or close to. And would a 24-year-old be going, he still thinks I'm a virgin? It's not really relevant when you're 24, is it?
No.
How old's
Not, anyway.
Melina meant to be in this? Is it Melina?
I don't know
Yeah,
how
Melina.
old Melina's meant to be, but I think she was only about 24 when the film came
She's
out.
quite young, early 20s.
But she's got kind of a timeless quality to her anyway.
She does, and she does a good job playing young BB.
Yes. Well done.
Good job.
Just act really immature.
Yeah. Where does that put us?
Oh.
And act really immature and just give Roger the come fuck me eyes.
Come fuck me eyes. Not come to bed eyes.
Yeah.
Come fuck me eyes.
Yeah, I misheard that.
Just buying herself a new bow.
Yes.
As you do.
This is how I would subtly, bump someone off. Undercover there, James. I look around the glass at an angle, they won't know I'm here.
I just love how casual it is to buying a weapon of murder. You can actually just pick up like, oh yes,
Ooh,
I'll
yeah.
have a. Oh hello. Is that the competition winner?
What are you
Probably.
on about?
The girl in the flower shop.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there was a competition, wasn't there? You won a part in the film.
What was it? Alright.
I don't think she had any sort of like speaking lines, but yeah, you kind of entered the competition then, and she won.
Oof. See those guys there? They're like in glee. There, they're like, oh look. I hope she's insured.
Oh, that's very boots. Oh my god.
Oh, I can see fruit in the background.
Where?
Wow.
It was gone. It was like, as they were talking, I was like,
What was it?
there you go. You see, it's
Oh,
fruit.
yeah.
Oh, there
fruit.
it is. Yeah, oranges and things.
That's fruit, folks.
Oranges and lemons. That's fruit, folks. I'd forgotten about your fruit corner.
We knew Roger wouldn't let us down. It was
No.
his last gift to us.
I wonder if we'll see any fruit in the Batman series.
I don't know. I'm now fast forwarding through Batman films in my head, which is just not relevant. Of course they didn't kill my parents. My parents would be about 112 by now. Look at me. I'm a sexy bastard.
Stern look.
Hey,
Look at that sexy face.
how earnest I'm being. I mean it.
My serious face.
Don't worry, I'll lighten up and play with your bush later. I went a bit Ace Rimmer there, didn't I? Later.
Good. Oh.
Oh,
Princess Bonjilla, Ace Rimmer. There'll be time for explanations later, and hopefully some sex.
Stop. I'll be back for breakfast.
Don't be a clipper, I'll be back at Christmas. Whatever.
So we've gone from Bond to Ace Rimmer.
And had my highlights done.
I think that is pretty much Chris Barry doing an impression of like Roger Moore, isn't it? I think that's where he,
There's a bit of Roger Moore in that, isn't there?
yeah, that's where he got the idea from, I think.
Oh, here we go. Not masturbatory. Oh no,
Non-stubborn.
this is going to be hot.
So pretty much you might say that.
I don't know what possessed them to write this scene in.
do you think? I imagine it was just them like acknowledging Roger's age, really, and saying, "Oh, he's going to be more mature." This is his gritty Bond.
This is gritty. I mean, surely you could have achieved that by just him not having him constantly joke about tits, like in Octopus. and then, job done. You don't need. I mean, I don't see any great credit in this because I think she's meant to be underage. So why are we all going, what a guy, he didn't fuck her? It's like, well, you don't. She's a kid.
What?
We
I think
don't
it's more
know.
about his age rather than her age.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's an argument to say like Sean would, at the time would have like gone, okay.
Of course.
He'd have done a Roger Moore impression.
Raised eyebrow.
Oh, of course.
And I'll finger your mother. I mean, by the way. Should have had one of. He should have just gone and knocked one out in the bathroom now because he's like, I did well there, but Jesus, that was tough.
Notice he was like fighting that, but not really fighting that hard. It's like
No.
I'm
just persevered a bit more.
think she likes you, Rog. I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe.
Does she?
She wasn't even put off when he unsheathed that tiny weapon. Is this meant to be those two? Yeah. We are getting to the stage where it just looks nothing like him on a wide shot.
No. You can tell it's a different man. Eric.
Cross-country skiing must be the most fucking boring sport to watch ever.
I imagine it's quite hard to do. And,
Oh, it
but
really is. Yeah.
I done downhill skiing. No. What the hell is she wearing? Oh my god. I should use these tiny binoculars with my octagonal glasses.
She's gone a bit sort of rodeo, hasn't she?
Rodeo, that's it. That's precise it.
Yeah. Of course, just off the point, we've also lost Chris Cornell since we last did a Bond podcast.
Yes, we have. Very terrible.
That was about a week ago, wasn't it? Something like that
Yeah.
Yes.
on the recording.
No, just a very sad Bond alumni.
Chris Cornell was 52 years of age. with no
It's nothing, is it? Nothing.
particular physical ailments that we're aware of.
Yeah, it was a suicide, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very sad.
The Bond costume designers chose that hat for him.
All right.
What would look good on James Bond? Like an elongated,
Let's try one of these.
an embiggened sock.
Big un. Didn't even know that was a word.
It is now. Yeah, take your number off so no one recognises you. World famous biathlete. I don't know who he is now.
So he's not even
Could be anyone.
he's not even wear a hat and goggles, because that would help disguise. Yeah, back in good old days, we can just sneak off to murder someone.
I only hope there's someone watching who's got like a drink and can leap up looking shocked at what's going on.
Do you think there's any celebrities today that are actually secret government hitmen?
What, you mean like, I don't know, fucking the guy who plays Ian Beale in EastEnders, something like that?
Well, yeah, anyone really.
Anyone.
Or like sort of a sports personality, or...
You would like me to just sit here and accuse some unsuspecting celebrity of being a government?
No, I'm just like sort of think it's possible.
Well, it's possible. I can't imagine.
This is gritty.
It is a bit like when they always claim that like fucking Bruce Lee went undercover in the Triads or something. And it's like, I mean, they mocked it on the original version of The Office. It was like, well, yeah, because that's what you do. You take the most famous martial artist in the world. Who can we have here who's going to be, not very well known and stuff? Lewis Hamilton.
Well, he fell over. He's not that good, is he?
Oh no, he fell over again. Oh.
He fell over.
I misread that then on my screen, the one you've just shared, Becca. I read it as Roger Moore, best known for playing James Bond at the age of 89.
Oh.
I just misread it. I just thought, well, I thought he was too old, but God.
Playing it onto a ripe old age.
Yeah.
No, my timeline is just very little else, obviously. Very sad day.
My 90's slipping, so it's my
What
continence.
was your accent? This is...
Is this where we suddenly have him do every winter event ever except curling?
Yeah, all the winter sports.
I love it. He does a bit of skiing and then a bit of like fucking, skiing along a bobsleigh run, and then he does ski jumping. It's great.
And there's Charles Dance.
Yeah.
Before they were famous. People you didn't know who were in a Bond film.
Before he played the baddie in that Eddie Murphy film.
Before Game of Thrones.
Which Eddie Murphy film?
The Golden Child.
I've only ever seen that once, and that was in cinema, so I haven't seen it for 30
Not in
years.
ages.
Oh.
Down the big old. Woohoo!
Yeah, but originally it's going to be a Mel Gibson film, I think, originally.
Ah.
The
You should do a movie
anti-Semitic
trivia
child. Distinct chattering. I always thought Charles Dance had a bigger role in this, but he really doesn't.
No.
Maybe not, no.
He doesn't even have a line.
And it just looks menacing.
It's quite a sort of setup, really, isn't it? Just kind of,
Well, it is really, because I don't always notice that pin he's wearing on him. Security at this event's bollocks, isn't it?
It's really bad, isn't it?
and it's a mixture of like, is this an event or not? Because I can't imagine during like the Winter Olympics at some fucking area that you got the public just having a go at ski jumping while we're
Anybody could have a go.
I know, it's just weird.
I thought the whole casualness that you can have a celebrity just like attempt to murder someone in public.
Buddy.
And that's where you've got the idea that, I don't know, maybe fucking Bill Bailey or something is
Bill
on
Bailey.
the government payroll.
Oh dear. Is the stuntman John Eves doing some amazing stunt work?
No, that was Roger, it must be. Come on.
It's always Roger.
I think he's the one who does this tape, going over the table as well.
Doesn't offer to replace their drinks or anything.
Dear.
That's why he needs the skis that have got like the emergency brakes on it, so he can stop and replace all their drinks.
See, how could Bill Conti go from doing something iconic as Rocky to this?
What as iconic as Rocky to something
In
as
terms of
iconic
the
as
score.
Bond?
I think she needs the music he wrote, not the series.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, you're slumming it in Bond now. I don't think that's what she
Jesus.
Hey, they could all fall over and...
Like dominoes.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, Thomas. There we go.
Hey! Although logically they should fall from the other fucking side, but alright. I think it's time we saw him on a bobsleigh run.
Let's do that.
Joking aside, I do like this music. This section of the film.
No, yeah, this is a really good sequence, I think. Just
It's
let down by the
it-
cheesy music.
It's kind of fun, but it
I
has
love
its
the cheesy
charm.
music. I love it. Unironically, I love it.
I really want to see Daniel on some skis. I mean, obviously we had a little bit
He
in
refused
Spectre,
to.
but it's,
He
we want
refused to do
we
the
want a ski
skis.
chase downhill,
Yeah, he
being
won't.
chased by Spectre villains.
Why
And I'll be done.
Best we can hope for is an aqua lung in the next film.
Oh, someone gets a cake in the face.
Oh look, it's that man.
I know.
It's
Like,
Scott Johnson.
him again.
Brilliantly staged that was, wasn't it?
I forgot he was in it.
They might as well
Yeah.
just not have bothered for this one.
I know, it was fucking rubbish.
There's no double taking pigeons, so we'll get Victor Todansky instead.
Yeah, so why did Craig refuse to go on skis? Can he not ski or something?
I don't know, but I heard he refused. So they wanted to do something on snow. So when you think what Bonds tend to do, what hasn't he done? Well, he hasn't done sort of deep sea diving yet. There's such lack security in the middle of the fucking bobsleigh run, which has got to be a tournament because they're all wearing the same stuff. It looks like they are kind of, and he's just like, here you go.
I mean, it looks rammed full of spectators as well.
I know. I don't know what this event's meant to be. But there were more people watching fucking Blofeld in Bond in Majesties, wasn't there? The Happy Shopper Games. Look, that's just ruined their time because it's just like, frustrated. And he's like, green screen. He's back at Pinewood just doing various expressions.
It's fair, that's quite good stunt work, this.
It looks dangerous as shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As he took off, his legs were all over the shop. You know that guy was going to have a really bad fall. And then it cuts to a different angle and it's all fucking elegant and graceful.
Oof!
Oof! Oof!
He's okay, folks. He's okay.
He's gonna be late. He's gonna be late for his race now, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, I know. Perhaps he should just relax with the Heineken.
Yeah, I've got something.
Perhaps go and take some snaps with Kodak film. Throwing his pipe. There's
I'll
an
just turn
action.
his Yamaha.
They said the amount of time and effort it took to do that, he might as well just like sort of run after him.
Yeah. Now I seem to remember if this is pretty much where Ferrara dies. That music, and I don't-
no, really?
I don't have it on. But
Spoiler
I've
where
grown
the-
so
where-
attached to him.
Yeah, where that car pulled in, there's something in the music that's very, very like his Rocky music. But
In another ice skating scene.
yeah. Hey, she's just nicked a sweater off Bill Cosby. Look.
Yeah.
He'd have slept with her.
Wouldn't have to give her any coffee or anything.
Yeah, this is the kind of somber tribute to Rog we wanted to do.
You're Adrian,
Well, you wanted to play Rocky. You Adrian. I did it.
I can't beat him, can I?
Anything derogatory? Yes, he's the best.
Just thinking about it now, it's probably be great just to cast Roger Moore and everything now.
Just do that voice.
Roger Moore in A Star Is Born. Funny girl.
Gentle. Roger Moore in Cats.
She's all that. With Roger Moore.
Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, so you then have the Shat legend over it, which would just, I'd explode. Fucking watching the Shat ledging over the ledgiest Bond.
Oh, there. What other films could he be in?
I see dead people.
Walking around like regular people.
Like regular people.
I'm 13, you know.
Alien?
Oh,
What?
it's personal now.
He burst out of John Hurt's chest. Delighted to meet you.
It's personal now. Yeah, that doesn't look planted at all. So who else did you cast Roger Moore in? You got Rocky, Die Hard.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh. Trying to think of an inappropriate rom-com.
We should ask our listeners, see like who else did you see Roger Moore in?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Be anything. What would he bring his unique gravitas and screen presence to?
Dave, are you going to tweet? Come on.
His best
Well,
friend is his mother.
We'll read out some of the answers if we get any.
You can tweet it.
Is that what?
Fruit, is it?
Yep,
Or is it?
that's fruit.
Our fruit votes.
It's kind of rude saying doing that straight in front of him. Your food shit.
Oh, Greek food's delicious.
Wasn't my opinion, it was Roger's.
Oh.
Yeah. I tell you what, Roger Moore would have been really very good in. He would have been very good in a Naked Gun type comedy.
Yeah,
He would be very
definitely.
good as a Frank Drebin type.
Nice beaver. Yeah, that could work.
You should play her though. Thanks, I just heard it start.
Shall I tweet?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm still enjoying the idea of him in She's All That.
Getting romanced by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Sorry, Peter, I've just come in this pie.
American Pie, oh my god.
It's no more ridiculous than Peter Sarsgaard having fucking Tim Robbins as his dad in fucking Green Lantern all those years ago. About fucking 10 years between them or something.
I don't think I've seen that.
Don't bother.
It's Sandra Harris.
Yeah, this is Pierce Brosnan's first wife. Died at, I think she was about 41 or something. She died of
Oh, that's very sad,
ovarian.
isn't it?
She died of ovarian cancer because she had that sort of faulty gene that causes it, which she then passed on to her daughter, who Pierce Brosnan adopted, And she died a couple of years ago at a very similar sort of age.
Oh, very sad.
No, that's very sad.
Still, they'll break out the hot wings in a minute. When I see her here, I'm reminded later, because obviously the film comes afterwards, the casino scene in Never Say Never Again, they have Kim Basinger looking very like her.
Oh yeah.
Hey, they've gone a bit soft focus on him there, look.
There is a bit of soft focus going on.
Hey, that's a bit,
Vaseline.
that is a bit the shat, isn't it? He's not who I would have cast in a sort of casino scene. But there you go.
Who, Roger Moore?
No, the other guy, the big guy who was in an episode of The Blackadder.
Oh, right, yeah. It's kind of look like he's got
Is
like
this where they
cock-eyed.
sit? Is this where they? Oh no, I think with Camo Khan, do they sit and ponce on about wine now for a bit?
Well, naturally.
Ouzo. I've never tried ouzo. That's aniseed based, isn't it?
Yeah, horrible.
I imagine it is.
It's like
Fighting with
Pernod.
the enemy.
It's like Pernod, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, I don't like Pernod or Sambuca
I don't know why people drink it, but yeah.
because they probably like it.
Well, they're demented.
Because it gets you drunk.
So the top
Yes,
tip
yes,
for
but
evening,
there's nice ways to
from
get
the
drunk though,
makers-
Becca.
From the originators of the Wanked Off Not Fingered, is don't drink anything aniseed based because it's a bit foul. What I really love about Julian Glover is it barely looks like him. You can always tell it's him, but he's so different, isn't he?
Yeah. See, you think about his other films where there's Last Crusade.
Indy's the first one you think of, probably.
Yeah.
Because he's in Star Wars, but he's not in it a huge amount. Or he's in Empire, isn't he? But he's not in it a huge amount.
Just one of those actors just disappears in his role, doesn't he?
Definitely, yeah.
Though he is playing a bit of a soft villain there.
Well, they don't reveal him as a villain till late in the film, so he's a bit. Well, he's not poorly served by the film in that regard, but he's poorly served in terms of Bond iconography. Because most of his time on screen, he's not demonstrably a villain. So you're not going to remember him as one of the great ones.
No, he doesn't appear. You know, he's not a typical Bond buddy. We're set up
I mean,
to
at the
believe
moment,
that
we're
this
assuming
guy's
it's
the
Top
villain.
Bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does get a few chances to act like a bastard, though, when he is.
Yeah, he does. He does. I don't think I've ever seen him bad in anything.
No, it's really good. But it's kind of like almost like an anti-Bond almost, isn't it? Because it's sort of very refined, very suave, knows what to eat, knows what to drink. And obviously at the end you find out.
Roger
a bit of a
could have
nudder.
been talking of Auntie and thinking you meant a woman for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Anti.
Roger would have made an excellent Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh my life, that would have been amazing. Hello, dear.
But yeah,
Oh, dear.
but you wouldn't bother doing the accent. They're like,
Have you ever noticed that all listeners, all of Becca's impressions sound like Homer Simpson trying to be Mr. Burns? And when
I'm not very good at impressions. So
I
let's try.
don't know.
I don't know.
And when I edited last week's show, it's not that obvious until you hear it, and then you can't unhear it. When Becca says hello, she goes, hello! At the start of that show. Hello, and welcome to episode whatever it is. I've got a friend in this town who's got like a perfectly manly voice and all the rest of it, but when he goes to say goodbye, he goes, boy! It's just become a joke. He'll chat away and he'll go, yeah, and I'll see you later. Is that all right? Okay, bye!
Pretty high pitch.
bye-bye.
And then you got Becky going, hello!
You'd have a high pitched conversation between us. Hi, bye.
Yeah, I'll just. I would talk to you both, but I'm just going to record it and slow it down later. get it in a lower register.
Goodbye. Bye.
Hello. Hello.
an iconic shot, isn't it?
It could have been. I don't know that people would remember it, but it's very, very Bond, isn't it?
I am Countess Liesel. There's another Vaseline on the camera.
I hope that's the only use for Vaseline.
Vaseline on lens.
Be a gentleman on your first time, Roger. Pulls her stunningly easily, doesn't he? Even by
He's very charming, you know.
Actually, I think they've got outstanding chemistry, these two.
Is that because she looks more age appropriate for him?
I don't mean to be cruel, but I do wonder if that's part of it. I'm not saying it is, but maybe it is. I don't know. I think she's just got a fuller personality. Pierce Brosnan liked her.
Yeah.
Did her in everything.
How old was Pierce at this time? Anyway, he must have been like young.
Pierce Brosnan was born in 1953, so he'd have been 28 when this film came out. In fact, his birthday was a few days ago, and if this came out in the summer, he'd have been sort of 27 through most of the filming of it. And I think she died in about... I will look it up, hang on. Alright, Cassandra Harris was born in 1948, but very late in the year, so she'd have been about 32 when this came out. She died in 1991 of ovarian cancer at the age of 43. She'd had her birthday about 2 weeks before. She married Pierce Brosnan when she was about 32, so the year before this. Or, sorry, 31, because her birthday's at the end of the year. And they were together 11 years after that.
Oh.
And Charlotte Brosnan died at 42. She wasn't his biological son, but I think she took his name and I think he adopted her. She was born in 1971 and died in 2013 at 42. That's got to be rough, watching your kid go through what you watched your wife go through.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realise things like that, don't you? About what celebrities go through at times.
Well, they just put their people as well. They've got real lives and real difficulties. I mean, even slightly less important things like him losing the Bond role in '86, that will have upset him. You know, he's only a human being, and he was with this woman quite a long time, and he's now got children that are hers. You know, so yeah. If they'd have stayed inside and got it on, she might have been all right.
But no, the beach was just too tempting.
Yeah.
Death by Doom Buggy.
Yeah. I was going to say he's armed. He should be able to. Yeah.
The good old, like, you know, hand on the arm shoot.
Yeah.
So why should she easily just gone back in the house then, couldn't she?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a plot to, you know, they've got to kill her off. But, yeah. And again, you think, it's a bit like Prometheus, run sideways. It can't follow you into the water. But, you know, in panic.
Yeah. Oh dear.
See, it's like when people are getting, like, running from a sniper, it's like, well, at least try and zigzag.
Oh, that's his only line.
Oof!
I believed it, though.
She blinked.
Did she?
I saw her blink.
Really?
Goodbye, Countess.
No.
Oh. What the?
I have to look her up again, because I don't know what Cassandra Harris was known for, apart from this. I mean, they were both actors, her and Pierce, so they did make the decision to go over there and try and sort of crack it. And obviously he got Remington Steele. But her filmography is quite light. But she guest starred in several episodes of Remington Steele. Okay.
That's probably where they met then, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, because Remington Steele would have been after this. They met before that. Looking at it, she was married first to the brother of Richard Harris, and he died in '86, which is possibly why Pierce ended up adopting them. She was diagnosed in '87. So she was diagnosed 87 from, when was she born? 48. So she was diagnosed at about 38, which is just fucking awful.
He's quite a charming character, isn't he, Columbo?
Yeah, he is very charming.
Very.
What's the actor's name? I've forgotten. It's
Topol.
Brian
Topol.
Topol.
Yeah.
Go and see Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddling on the Roof.
And Flash Gordon.
And starring in Fiddler on the Roof.
Flash Gordon, I've forgotten about that.
I don't remember him in it.
He's
But
the
then I have
he's the scientist who
can't
takes him by gunpoint.
I didn't really like the film.
Flash. Oh.
With also other Bond, Timothy Dalton, and
Yeah.
podcast favourite, Max von Schroeden.
Max von Unpronounceable.
Does it have any other Bond people in it as well? Isn't like one of the girls in it, Bond?
Who? Sorry.
Flash Gordon.
Was Timothy Dalton's in it?
Yeah, but wasn't there
Who
another
else?
Bond connection?
I don't know. Let's say you're not really on my territory because I barely remember that film.
Let's have a look. IMDb.com.
Flash.
I'm looking up.
Savior of the Universe.
I'm looking up looking it up now.
That's in Flap Gordon.
Lorenzo Semple Jr. wrote it.
Brian Blessed.
That guy who also wrote for Never Say Never Again. So there's
Yeah, so I recognise that name.
Oh, you also had Porkins. He was in it.
I'll go to Porkins.
Hey,
Quite a
why
few
do they
things,
call
isn't
you Hawkins?
Robbie Coltrane had a small part in it, but not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Man at Airfield.
It probably just looks small because of his gut.
It was far
Peter
away.
Duncan. Is that from Blue Peter? Yeah, it is.
Mike Hodges, who directed Croupier.
Peter Ringard.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Brian Blessed.
Deep Roy's in it.
Oh, really? Bobby Brown? Not the Bobby Brown, surely.
Really odd if it was.
And
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Before he was famous.
and of course, the megastar that is Sam J. Jones.
Yeah, we basically made this.
Still don't know who that is.
Fuck all. The guy who was in Flash Gordon. It was like actually his role. And in Ted.
All these people.
Okay, so is this where we're finding out that the villain is Christatos?
Well, I think he's been
Yeah,
told that, hasn't
unacceptable.
he?
Yeah, but
He's
we're
actually
finding
the
out it's true.
Mm.
Yeah, he's obviously working with, I'll call him Topol.
Ooh.
And again, you got, Bond doing spying and using his wits and using the environment around him.
Like, a lot of gun action. Oh, 2 guns! Oh no, not much longer.
Yeah, they were decidedly on the back foot here, aren't they? They're at a disadvantage.
Show. Roger Moore is Ron Burgundy.
This one,
Yourself, San Diego?
this one also one of the tropes of the Bond series. They just have a big shootout, which I kind of miss.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see that so much now.
Well, now
do you?
Daniel just shoots one thing that's combustible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
nothing
it
blows
blows up.
Does it?
That annoyed the piss out of me. That did.
One shot precisely in the middle of where it needed to be, and bang.
The biggest non-CG explosion in cinema history.
No, impressive.
Because he shot a can of Tizer or something.
So after this, when's the last time we see like a shootout in the series?
After
I wouldn't
this,
say License to Kill, but did we see one before? You got the shootout at the factory at
it
the end,
depends
don't you?
what you mean by a shootout, really. Because would you class the bit in Venice at the end of Casino Royale? They're all sort of shooting at each other.
No, I mean like on the scale, you've got two different parties.
You got Quantum as well. That hotel in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Is that where Craig shoots one thing and the whole thing blows up?
Yeah, but he does shoot other people though. But it's kind of like we've kind of don't. It's normally Craig or whoever going it alone now, rather than like Craig gets a bunch of other people to kind of help him in the big.
Craig and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah. Well, now it'll be like Bond and friends, isn't it? So it'll be a Bond, Moneypenny.
Yeah. Bond and his civil servants.
Bond and Co.
I was just about to say to our listeners, feel free to talk to us on Twitter. Then I realised we're not going out live, so that'd be fucking pointless.
No, that'd be a bit silly, wouldn't it?
I think it's because Ken Mioza's just said listeners like us are there in spirit on the airwaves with you three now.
Oh, thank you, Ken.
Just a reference to the fact that obviously a lot of fans are kind of absorbing this tonight. So they kind of... I dare say there are fans that would have found this difficult to do tonight because of being upset about it all. So yeah, we do understand that, and so hopefully we're doing this some justice. We wouldn't want to do a humorless show, but we do want to give him his due as well.
Yeah, we've got nothing but like love and respect for the guy, no matter what.
Yeah, no, of course.
Genuinely, everything I've ever said about the guy, I love the guy. I really do. Hated guns, didn't he, Roger Moore?
No, he wasn't a favourite.
It's just another reason why you should like him, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you asshole. Guns are great.
This is such a great shot.
Yeah, he was always uncomfortable doing the hard edge stuff, though, wasn't he?
He was. He's very uncomfortable with all this. This shot's quite iconic.
That's
that
very cool.
one there. I've seen that in quite a lot of stills in different places. And then you've got this, where he's basically been shot in the shoulder, which it's quite well thought through.
Yeah. That's the thing about Bond as well. He's meant to be like, an expert boxer, sort of knifeman, and a, excellent pistol
And
marksman
of course, he's got an invisible Shetland pony everywhere he goes. But only Roger's Bond. It's like a spirit guide.
A spirit guide is a tiny Shetland pony.
Yeah. Now this pin weighs 4 stone.
That's
That's £56 to our American friends. There you go. Look. Oh, Christ, that
really heavy
pin's
pin.
so heavy.
No, I got the impression it was slipping anyway.
Yeah, I know it was.
Yeah.
What, you thought I was genuine? That's
Give him a nudge.
Well, Roger is a strong guy.
They don't even have him drown. He's...
Yeah, I kind of like seeing his lifeless body bashed on the rocks. Well, he's a bad guy, of course.
This is the one bit of the film I'm not so fond of because they take so long. If this is where they get the ATAC, this takes so long.
It's going to feel like even longer when it's underwater and without sound.
That's okay. I mean, it doesn't ruin the film. I mean, a lot of people struggle with the rock climbing at the end, but I think that's really tense. I quite like that.
Oh no, that's really good, that bit.
Yeah. But again, it's not a film I liked as a kid.
With an underwater Hoover.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Appropriately, this is decades ago. The woman's doing the hoovering.
Tired of this seabed.
Yeah. I haven't got his dinner ready, though, has she?
Well, it's...
Yeah, well, yeah.
It is midday, to be fair, so... Oh, she's smiling.
Yeah, this is also impressive because I imagine some of that's done in water because that'll be a stunt double. But anytime you see a close up of Melina, she's not in water.
No, it's a very sort of piece of trickery, isn't it? It's all
Yeah,
kind of done in slow motion, and the bubbles aren't real. And
yeah, it's all sort of a second pass over the film to put that effect on.
no, I think that's really clever.
It's really, really clever.
And you wouldn't know as well, unless you.
There's
know
only
you were looking
one
out for it.
shot in this film where I think I know they're not underwater, and I'll point it out later because when they're tied up and dragged along, he's trying to get them loose, and you can just see from his eyes he's not looking through water.
No.
But that's not something you can fake. It's not really his fault.
There's Roger, dressed like my dad.
Oh.
Christ, your dad must get some fanny. That's the front bottom for our American friends. Although I'm sure he could have the back bottom if he wanted it. Less Vaseline to go on the lenses after that, though.
No, it's just totally something my dad would have worn back then. They probably still got them knocking around, I think.
He probably just puts it on for your mum now in private. Do you want me to wear the pastel short sleeve shirt? Oh.
They did mention it to me like a year or so ago how you can't get yellow shirts anymore.
Oh,
like.
You see what we're going through in England since Brexit, folks?
Yellow shirt
Oh,
crisis.
this was before Brexit.
Really? God,
Yeah.
perhaps Brexit brings them back then. Who knows?
We can only hope.
Dear.
Can't get the yellow shirts.
Would you want to buy a yellow shirt?
Not really.
Well, there we are then. Clearly, there's no demand for them.
Trying to relive his youth, where he was like James Bond. Can you get yellow underwater jumpsuits?
Banana jumpsuits.
Yeah, this is such a long sequence.
Yeah, I must say this sequence does tend to drag a little bit for me.
It's the only bit that really does, but I can
Yeah.
see with that and the rock climbing, which I probably wasn't that into when I was a bit younger.
No, same. I did kind of. Obviously, when I sort of first saw this film, I was just thinking I really struggled with it just for that sequence.
I
But
like.
obviously, it's grown and improved on me for sure.
I like that very fetching anoraks there. No, I kind of like the rock climb a bit. Even as a kid, I thought it was pretty cool.
I think I tuned out the film by then. That was
Yeah.
the problem. It's very difficult to get back into things. I had a good attention span as a kid, a really good attention span for films, but this ain't aimed at the average 10-year-old. It just isn't. My only problem with this scene is not really boredom. Yeah, I don't think I really ever resent it. It's more the fact that if you actually wrote down what happens in this sequence, I don't know why it takes 15 to 20 minutes. You should be through all of this in 5 or 6 minutes maximum.
I guess we'll watch it and find out. See what it takes so goddamn long.
I mean, obviously he's had to top up on the Cossack look. His Falcon or Cossack hairspray, because he's looking very neat.
And of course, got to rip off Jaws as well.
I mean, I know the speed and sort of timing of films has changed, but this strikes me as very slow for even the early 80s, just this section. Sales of cardigans must have gone through the fucking roof after this film, though.
Well, they reckon that for Dine of the Day, didn't they? They reckon that that black sort of pullover he wears.
I think he
Sounds
looks
like-
alright in that, though. Don't like the film, but I think he
No,
looks alright.
it looks very stylish all the way through, but yeah, it's a shit film.
Yeah, yeah. Craig
Oh,
can
really?
rock a cardigan.
Yeah, Craig has though, and he's been rocking cardigans.
He has Quantum, yeah.
But even when he's not filming, he does like a odd cardigan. I don't mind a cardigan.
No, I get cardi every now and then.
Just to scratch an itch, you know. Time to wear a cardi. Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah, time for a quip. It's a great film.
There's always time for quip.
Yeah, that's right. You would expect some in any Bond film, to be honest.
You would. We've been
And that
Bond
wasn't a
film about
bad one, actually, in that he wasn't trying to be really funny. It was just almost a sardonic take on their situation. Like, let's hope that was the only one. Where's the activity centre?
it. Is it wet?
It's over here by the building blocks and sandpit.
Let me get my map.
That's detailed, isn't it?
That's very detailed. It's there.
Oh, straight on. Straight
Ahead. Oh, that was easy.
Over there where it says attack. No, ATAC.
ATAC.
There it is. When you think these films would have been very PG rating, you know, there was no 12A or PG-13 at this point. They've got to be very careful with all of this, and yet we've actually seen quite a lot of, you know, we've seen a lot of death here, and that can be kind of a little bit traumatic, seeing sort of dead bodies with their eyes wide open if you're a kid.
I don't know what it must have been like at that time. I mean, nowadays it's pretty. Kids see all sorts, don't they? I mean, like 12 ratings, kind of.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard.
They have pushed the boundaries of the 12A rating a lot in recent years.
I mean, now it's very difficult to even get an 18. So.
Well, it is. Alien Covenant was a 15.
Yeah.
I don't always notice, actually, because I don't have children. I just buy the ticket, sit in there, and I don't always really pay that much attention to what the rating is. But the person I was with was like, this is a 15? And I was like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean much now, in that a lot of the things you would traditionally think of as part of an 18 certificate, you can get away with a 15 anyway.
That was tense, cutting those wires in order.
Yeah.
Very tense scene.
Cut the one marked 1 first. Okay, and then we'll nick this cash register.
We'll just undo some screws.
And then leg it before Arkwright fucking catches us.
Oh, cry.
Colonel Sanders.
Come back, I say, come back. Catch your cloth.
This always,
this
reminds
me of Inner Space. This.
It is a bit Inner Space.
Actually, I think I might have ended up doing Fred Elliott there, but there you go. Anyway, it does a bit. I haven't seen Inner Space in cinemas either, and I really liked it.
That's a really good film.
Oof!
It's Donald Trump. Look where he grabbed her.
I'm not sure how that actually works.
She looked really shocked there, like.
Oh, well, okay, whatever it is, it's a bomb.
We don't care at this point. It's too long.
He's like falling around like Mr. Blobby.
Oh, Mr. Blobby got done to death, but I have to say, the first time I ever saw Mr. Blobby, it was one of the funniest things I'd ever fucking seen, because they used it as one of his gotchas, and they had Will Carding, who was the England rugby captain at the time, onto this purportedly kids television show to teach the viewers about rugby. And you just had this fucking bizarre looking thing falling over constantly. And it was quite funny the first time, but only the first time.
Because they even brought him back for lime kicking, didn't they?
Yeah. think so.
God, yeah, they did.
I think
I remember
he was
that.
very slightly after my time.
After Noel Edmonds was done with him, he was Jimmy Featson's.
Bitch.
Yes. Bubbly, 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 bubbly.
It's going back in the day.
Yeah. That's a sign of how much we don't love this scene. We've gone everywhere during, and we got all the way to Mr. Blobby before it finishes.
It was just like sort of look at this big, this massive
Clumsy.
suit just like clumsily just like falling over. It was just like, oh, Mr. Blobby.
Oh, they made songs out of it and everything. They milked it to death, and it wasn't funny. But the first time, it was.
Was that the one? Was that the one when Noel Edmonds cut his head for falling, or was that?
I've no idea, but I know that the first time we ever saw the character, it was as part of a joke, a practical joke, on like a celebrity who thinks he's appearing on a kids' TV show. "14 hours later, they're nearly done." There we go.
Oh.
That was a long sequence.
That was a very long sequence.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a while when you're underwater.
That's the problem. I mean, but diving has been a sort of trope of the Bond films since Thunderball. And Thunderball would have really had the wow factor because underwater photography wasn't massively a thing. And it was, the first widescreen Bond and all the rest of it. But every time I see diving in the Bond films now, it is kind of fucking boring.
Like, how often is it actually? You got a Thunderball. You've got
Thunderball,
this.
Wasn't there some in You Only Live Twice?
Yeah, I think there was something.
And the very quick cave sequence.
There was some in
License to Kill. There was something like that. Not huge amounts, but
I'm trying to think. Pierce was in Tomorrow Never Dies. He dived down to Devonshire.
Oh yes.
Roger did it a few times. Roger did everything several times because he did several films. But there's obviously this one, and I can't think what else. There's one, A View to a Kill. He definitely dives because he's nearly caught up in that threshing fucking thing.
Terrifying.
There's got to be some in The Spy Who Loved Me, just by the nature of the type of film it is, but I can't remember the sequence now if there is.
Well, he's in the car, isn't he, underwater? I know that.
Yeah.
Let's have a closer look.
Sean did a couple of times. I mean, it's not that often, but most Bonds have done it. Sean never skied.
No, I didn't.
We all watched, I don't know if Becca's seen it yet. Have you seen Becoming Bond yet?
No, I haven't actually, no.
Yes, and I saw it.
I still need to see it, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it a lot. When I saw clips from it as trailers, I thought, what the hell have they cast as Lazenby here? Because he looks nothing like him. And there's no way you'd believe this guy was a male model either. But actually, because the inserts are just filmed to illustrate what he's saying, and quite a lot of it's fairly comedic anyway, and the guy's got quite a funny range of expressions, it works really well.
Yeah, it's always a bit wonderful because I think he's fairly unknown, isn't he? The chap, Josh, I can't think what his name is. Plays Lazenby. I don't think I've heard of him before.
It's nearly all Lazenby talking.
Oh, good. Well, I should hope so.
I mean, at one point, and I won't say what and why, he actually cries on camera.
Oh.
He gets really upset at one point.
It's quite an emotional bit as well because you think, oh.
It really is. Because you can tell that's the one thing in his life he still regrets. But his nature's done him no favours because he is quite an incorrigible womanizer, or certainly was.
I think there's part of the film where I generally thought like that was like your turning, but I think if you did that differently, you probably would have been
a very different man.
You probably would have stayed on and done at least the other one, like he sort of said, like, maybe I should have Maybe should have
Yeah.
done like another Bond
Another
film
one.
just to prove everyone that I wasn't fucking flip.
He wanted to go back to her, but he had to go back to London. They'd already
Yeah.
split once, and he had to go back to London, and she never literally just didn't see him again for decades. And I think had he come back the next day or said, "Look, come with me," then yeah, he might have a very different attitude.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Though realistically, thinking about putting into context what I know, I don't think he had like a chance to even do that. I don't think he had the option given what was happening to him at the time. But I think the real decision was that to go with that other woman where they broke up initially. Had he not done that, it could have had a different.
Possibly. It's worth seeing though, guys. If you can get it from somewhere. It's on Hulu in the United States. We don't have Hulu here. We had to sort of get an online link to it. We haven't downloaded it illegally or anything, but it is streaming somewhere. But yeah, this is.
I'll try and catch it as soon as I can.
It's really worth your time, Becca. It's only about an hour and 35 as well, and it neither drags nor flies by. In that it doesn't feel slight at 95 minutes. It covers a lot.
Yeah.
But it isn't just about Bond. They break it down into chapters, and you don't even get to it until it's about chapter 9.
Sure.
There's a couple of things he says that does contradict the versions of the story I've heard before. So I do think I'm not sure.
He is known to embellish, I think, isn't he?
I'm not sure all of it's true. Well, he said about how he got Sean Connery's sort of unwanted suit.
All right.
And the story he tells when he wants to audition for Bond is he goes into his tailor, asks for a suit, and he said, well, Sean hasn't picked this one up, so I'll sell you this one.
All right.
And it's an inch or two too long or too short in the arms, something like that. And the story he's always told is the guy basically sold him Sean Connery's unwanted suit that had been there for ages.
Oh.
In the film version of the story has him stealing it.
All right.
So it's a relatively minor difference, but you do wonder how honest the guy is. I suspect most of the story is true, and certainly in its wider beats it will be. But yeah. We've just actually missed probably one of Roger's best bits in his run as Bond. Just that little bit where he says we're not dead yet.
Not dead yet. Hang on.
Yeah, I love that bit too. It's not done in a well, we're not dead yet.
Yeah.
It's quite a brutal scene as well.
It's very brutal.
And it's quite an imaginative thing to come up with as well. It's like, it's just sort of like, we're just going to sort of like drag them along the corridor. You think it's not something you naturally would think a Bond film would do that. But yeah, it's still brutal and effective.
No, it's quite grim. And is that the other bit that's underwater? That you can't tell it's underwater?
Ooh. Oof!
Yeah, it's that very small insert scene there. Shock. Phew, that was close.
You sound
Shock
relieved,
doesn't want a meal. Sorry.
I hope Bond makes it.
I hope he survives the end of this film, Yeah.
Ken Mioza, I've just seen your photo that you've just posted with Caroline Munro on Facebook. Thanks for sharing this stuff, buddy.
It's a great photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ken's comments. Thanks, Ken.
So yeah.
Freaky.
So this bit here, they're not. You can tell by his eyes they're not underwater.
No, it's really clever.
They do. Yeah, they do a great job with it, but you can tell there.
No,
So it's just wind.
Yeah. Well, you can tell that by the way he's grimacing.
Yeah.
See it on his face. It's one of those great big powerful hand dryers that you get these days.
So why the shots go after the guy who's not bleeding?
Mm.
We're getting towards the bit where like the plot is completely turned on the testimony of a parrot.
Yeah, that's good.
Just for those of you listening, Becca is obviously contractually obliged to say, "Give us a kiss."
Every time the carrot.
Every time we say the word parrot.
Oh,
Just seen a tweet by by someone called Pixelated Boat. R.I.P. Roger Moore, the only Bond who fucked in space.
well, he's not wrong.
Although for some of the looser women, it probably felt like it. Bond who fucked in space. Ended up jizzing in his own face, but what the hell?
Oh. Oh dear. Yep.
Max, not now. I've got important plot information to give you.
Oh no, Max, I've got exposition to deliver.
Yeah. 6060. Which one, Max? There's fucking loads of them.
You don't do some zeros.
All that confetti going all over that food.
I was just thinking, watching this, it reminds me of it's a different country and different culture, but it reminds me a little bit of Bond and Tracy's wedding.
A little
With
bit.
all the flowers and all the rest of it, and then I think about the snow in this and the sort of blonde henchman and all the rest of it. I kind of, and then I think, well, John Glenn's first exposure to working on this series was Majesties,
No, there are a lot of similarities.
and this is probably the most Peter Hunt-like Bond film apart from the one he did.
Yeah, it's always a shame he never did any more, isn't it?
Very much
yeah,
so.
no, yeah, very sad.
Very much the scapegoat for it not doing as well.
And it's
very weird.
And it's kind of, I think I realised watching the Lazenby film. It kind of like was receiving good buzz, and it was only like when Lazenby was acting a bit of a prat.
Yeah, he didn't help himself.
And it kind of like everyone's kind of like, oh, you're not doing any more. Right, well, what's the point of going and seeing this one?
But the other thing you've got to consider is a lot of theatres back then would have been like one screen, two screens, not very much. And it was the longest Bond film at the time, so you may be getting into the range of there being fewer screenings. You've got one of the most famous actors in the world because of James Bond, admittedly, having left the part and been replaced by this guy who's the press is going to be struggling to get a handle on because he's sort of only half cooperating. But then the thing that never gets mentioned when you talk about that film and its underperformance is it's released around Christmas and his wife is shot at the end. It's not the happiest of endings, but yeah. And it still did fine, but yeah. You can see them panicking simply because it was a downward trajectory as well, because You Only Live Twice didn't do as well as Thunderball, and then that film didn't do as well as You Only Live Twice. So, yeah, you can understand it. It's a shame, though, because I think Peter Hunt's spin on a Bond film is just beautiful. There it is. It just looks so at home.
It really does.
Those surroundings.
It just looks like a prop, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
As typical action scene, a fight at a church. Last stand.
Smack down at the monastery.
To be fair, I mean, like, I know it's been kind of like slow with all the underwater stuff, but it is pretty, like, last sort of half is like action. It's
a great film.
It is,
and yes, it is. It is like 2 or 3 set pieces in a row. Yeah.
It's like, it's quite plotty the first half, then it just goes like, right, action scene.
Yeah.
How to get that in there?
It's not just that. It's the fact that she's being bankrolled by like a sort of sexually frustrated middle-aged man, and he's bought her a trampoline. It's like you go and bounce up and down on that, and that'd be good for your training. I'll just watch.
Things I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have trouble getting sex from like prostitutes and things like that. So why is he like, really need to shag that ice skater?
You're suggesting he should give up any sense of self-esteem and pay for it.
I don't think he doesn't strike me as a person who care that greatly about it.
Yeah.
Unless he's just obsessed with her.
So that's our top tip there for sexually frustrated Bond villains. Hookers.
Yeah, why don't you become a pimp?
Unless, of course, Mini Driver is available.
Stand by your man.
Ina, take a hike.
At least this film isn't juvenile enough to make a limerick from the word crampon.
He's gone far, really, isn't he? That's quite a climb. That's like that's almost like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, this film's better than Mission Impossible 2. This is a John Glenn trope, isn't it?
What?
That.
Oh, the jump.
The little jump scare with an animal appearing. You get it in Living Daylights as well. Rock and Travolta. Not the racehorse, the Rock and Travolta. That doesn't. You don't get a racehorse coming out with a little gap in the stone. That's not what I meant.
Do you get an octopus as well?
I can't remember because I don't really pay that much attention to that.
Oh, you get the tiger, don't you? The tiger and goes, sit. And the fish face in License.
John Glenn doesn't get anywhere near the praise and recognition he should.
Yeah, I think he's my favourite of the directors.
Well, when you think you've got License to Kill in your top 3, you've got this in your top 7 or 8, I forget where it was.
Yeah.
You've got The Living Daylights in your top 5. Yeah. He's got 3 of about your top 7 or 8 Bond films.
I know the others I kind of enjoy anyway.
Yeah, I do think he's very hot and cold because I don't like his second and third ones much at all. I've got some nostalgia for A View to a Kill just because it was the first one I ever saw in the cinema, so I don't dislike it. But he did 5 films and I really like 3 of them, which is a pretty good hit rate, but the problem is the 2 I don't like, I really don't like.
Ooh. Oof! But in fairness,
He fell so hard his rock splintered.
The problem with the ones you don't like, the director isn't the issue really. It's irrelevant.
I'm not convinced he is. Yeah, I think you're kind of right in that A View to a Kill's kind of pretty, and Octopussy has good action set pieces. I've never denied that. They rarely look like it's Roger Moore doing it, but the train stuff and all that is really actually well done. I've never thought Octopussy was worthless. I never have. I've just never liked it. I struggle with it really badly, and he's too old by then. But of the 5 films he did, I think 3 of them are not just good; they're outstanding. But the 80s wasn't the most fashionable decade, and I don't know. They just don't have the glamour of the '60s films, and so I don't think he gets the praise he deserves. Plus, he was seen as a company man because he'd been working for Eon since the '60s. So it's like an internal promotion, and it's not like getting a name director in, quote unquote. So, yeah, there's no doubt John Glenn doesn't get the praise he deserves. And he's made a really confident debut here. And it can't be easy, because as much as Roger Moore was always suggested as quite nice to work with, it's got to be a little bit intimidating being the man calling the shots when it's his 5th appearance.
Mm.
You know, it'd be quite easy to almost disappear inside the job. But, you know, he's really stamped. He's very good at visuals, but he's more than anything else, I think John Glenn's a really good action director on the evidence of what we see. And this is really, really tense stuff.
Mm.
It's just a shame they've dressed Roger as though he's off to a farmer's market.
Well, I don't know what you expect him to wear, so...
Yeah. Spandex.
But I like the payoff, like he just like throws like uses one of those, I don't know what you call it, but uses it as a knife.
Yeah. I don't know what you do call them, but yeah. No, I wasn't waving you in. I was just wafting away afar. So yeah, that's really, really tense. Because you do get a bit lost in the scene. You do think any minute he's going to be falling to his death.
Yeah.
At the moment you think about it, that's not logical at all. But
That's so dangerous.
sorry, Becca?
It's very dangerous, but then you just have the worst henchman in history.
Wow, yeah.
So does every Bond
Well,
villain, though.
hang on a minute. The worst henchman in history. This is the series that gave us Elvis in Quantum of Solace,
Oh, poor Elvis.
whose magical power was a wig.
Wearing a wig.
Was to be unceremoniously killed off, kind of rather pointlessly by
Yeah, sorry,
by his boss. It's like, you stay there, why? I don't know, so you can just die for no reason.
Yeah.
You just stand right there in the middle of that massive explosion.
And also, wouldn't the worst henchman in history be the Stormtroopers?
Yeah, you
I
can't
think
shoot
she meant
straight.
in the Bond series, but yeah. I love that little sort of meme that came out. What if the Death Star was a stormtrooper? And it's basically the bit in the first one where they're trying to blow up Alderaan, and it just continually fucking misses.
It's quite a stylish-looking henchman, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very stylish. He doesn't know with his hairdo.
It's worrying how many films I see lately that remind me of Limahl. He's getting mentioned more than I ever
Limahl.
thought he would in this series.
Lamal.
Yeah.
Good old Lamar.
Yeah, it's not quite as wild, but it's that era.
Hey, girl. You're too shy.
Hush, hush.
Oh, I just killed him. Oh, he's not dead, actually.
Not dead yet.
So I don't know why the point of him, why they've not killed him. Why okay, why is he not dead?
Because they want to put a ball gag on him and use him
Like,
as a
for the purpose of the story, why is he not just dead?
I don't know.
'Cause it's like, I can understand if they need information, but
But they don't at this stage of the film. It's a bit like GTA 4 when you're playing Nico, right? You're killing people left, right, and centre, and then like you'll kill someone and suddenly have a crisis of conscience over it. It's like all the way through this film, he's killed people, no problem at all. And now it's like, he's a good guy, he's not killing them off.
Depends what
To be honest, I'm not that bothered about this bit now till Gogol turns up. Because I just love Gogol. Gogol is totally, what a little trickster. The way they're interacting with each other is quite funny. Roger's little waves. He's going to buy an ostrich burger and then go get some manure for the farm.
Oh, our missus.
Oh, when I went to edit Rocky Balboa, Chris's impression of Tony Duke was hilarious. Because it came out really West Country.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, let's start building some hurting bombs.
Ooh-ar.
It's just again. What the fuck's he doing there?
It's quite a fetching gilet, isn't it? They're all wearing fetching gilets. Apart from Columbo, who's actually wearing a cool leather jacket, I must admit.
Yeah. He's hoping to get the lead in Dempsey and Makepeace.
Especially with that hair.
Yeah. He's totally like, he's off to the disco afterwards.
Shh, they're sleeping.
But not really.
Huh?
He's awake.
Men protesting in Greek.
Protesting in Greek. Protest in own language.
Columbo ordering in Crete. In Greek.
In Crete. He just flew to Crete, placed an order, came back.
Sneaky.
You're so sneaky.
Ah, yes.
It's quite a good set piece, actually. I mean, like, the location. It's quite a good...
Oh, yeah.
Has it been used before? I'm sure it must have been used somewhere before.
I've no idea. I don't know what the proportion of sets to location is on this either.
It's Postman Pat.
And Gogol gesturing for him to go down, not for the first time. Lovely view. That is, yeah, that's quite fun as a set piece. Just walk up behind them and that's it. Oof!
Oof!
That's an oof moment.
I'm surprised Roger's not done his grab something and then kick someone.
Yeah, he probably complained to the director, didn't he? Where's the bar I can sort of suspend myself from and kick people?
Oof!
That was a big oof moment.
That was convenient having that bed there.
Yeah.
He's rock hard.
He is a bit.
Yeah, don't mess with him.
Imagine having abs that strong. It must be like...
Abs of steel.
Fruit!
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, tripped.
Some of the decisions in this bit are quite funny. They do have them like slipping on things and stuff like that. See, that looks like a set to me.
Yeah.
Some of this has a bit of Pinewood about it.
I like how he's demised because he got distracted.
Gogol's making a right meal of landing there, isn't he?
He really is.
Fucking
He
about 200 yards away half an hour ago.
He looks kind of smug coming down there as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you think he had to finish his blowjob before he landed?
he almost shuts the door in that other bloke's face.
Aha, too late.
But you know,
Glad I bought this thing now.
Yeah, she never actually fires anymore, does she? Oh no, yeah, she fired at that one guy.
Mm.
just
Be,
the
pre-
big
be
food
prepared
waste.
to do too great.
Good shot.
All right.
She's probably feeling a bit miffed now. It's like, fucking hell.
Yeah, don't tell him. Do not say who that guy is to her, because she'll be fucking furious. Oh no!
Whoops.
I'm glad we, scout it all the way just to be sure.
Just to make sure it does
The
destroy.
Fisher Price till has been destroyed.
I know.
Fisher Price.
I know.
That shit eating grin Roger does.
You don't have it.
I don't have it.
No, I don't have it. You don't have it. What they don't.
And now we're both going to have sex, just not with each other.
They
Although,
don't can be beautiful.
why not? He takes it so well. He's just like, all right then. I'm off.
He's so tall, isn't he?
What, Gogol?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you see that. Well, you see it from Russia with Love, but having said that, Lottie Lenya was tiny.
Yeah, she was quite petite in real life, wasn't she?
Yeah. I don't even think she was 5 foot.
Sit her in your handbag. Oh. Yours only, darling.
That's so cheesy. We are getting to like the worst part of the film now.
Oh, definitely. But it's just how many films in a row now? I think I said head of state at the time. The British Prime Minister's not our head of state, but you're patching Bond through to somebody really important, and you're not checking what he's up to.
That's the whole point of it, though.
And the thing is, once I could understand.
They should
But-
know that generally.
I mean, he
he's on the
basically
job
in
with
the
a lady.
previous film he fucked live on camera to the White House. The previous film he fucked in front of like the major people in MI5 or MI6, sorry. The previous film he fucked whilst on the phone to M. You think by now they might think when he finishes a mission he tends to get laid.
It's like, should we just keep the call private at first, and
Yeah.
then go to the
Yeah, ring him up. If he's available, we'll ask him whether he's free to be patched through to the Prime Minister, who's cooking faggots. Or something. Again, to our American listeners, totally different meaning.
Yeah, it's like a fag and cigarette, isn't it? As well.
Yeah, but faggots are a food,
Yeah,
maybe.
I know.
I didn't realise Janet Brown was dead. I didn't
Oh.
find that out the other day. Died 5-6 years ago. I didn't know that. You idiot. Yeah, exactly. He is a fucking idiot. Bond.
Hugh
That isn't
getting
Bond.
heckled
What makes
by-
you think that's Bond?
Since when's he been that high pitched?
It's Roger Moore. How can you think that? I don't relax here.
Hello, I'm Roger Moore.
What's your... Yeah, it would have been...
He really speaks like this. Hello.
Hello!
What's your naval rank?
I'm James Bond!
I'm a commander. Did you know?
John, I didn't know this. I've never noticed that was John Wells as Dennis.
No. How about
Quite
that?
heavily made up. Doesn't look like him. He looks like Dennis, funnily enough.
I can't sing.
Really? Kept that quiet.
Yeah, I won't be on going on Britain Got Talent, sadly. So yeah, that was Furious Only.
I know no one who goes on it's got any fucking talent. You wouldn't have any problem.
Oh.
So yeah, that was For Your Eyes Only.
Seats by Bogner. It was indeed. No, I think that's probably, yeah.
For
15
your
seconds,
ears
so-
only.
For your ears only, folks. Your ears and your eyes.
Difficult to know where to pitch this. He's just died today, but we hope this podcast will be listened to at different times in the future, and we didn't want to do anything too somber. We didn't want to do anything too flippant either.
No, not too.
It's just really, it's just, but had there been any major critiques of Roger in this film particularly, which really there aren't, you got to sort of be true to yourself and say what they are. But as this film is so good, I've got no major issues with it at all.
No, I mean, it's obviously score is a bit contentious, but I say I'm coming around to it slowly.
But Roger Moore didn't write that.
Well, no, it's like, that's the only thing. It's nothing wrong with his performance. It's just other things that are extraneous to that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it's probably most. I was going to say mature, but I don't mean that his other performances are immature, if you see what I mean. It's more kind of sort of filming in the style of filming.
Hang on a minute, in Octopussy he zooms in on tits. Yes, his other performances are fairly immature.
Yeah, I didn't mean that like in a silly way that he acts in a sort of silly.
James
silly
Bond
manner.
will return in
more...
Octopussy.
Really?
Well, there you go.
That was For Your Eyes Only. I've quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed watching it again.
I did. So did I? Yeah, me too.
It is one of those I can now sort of watch any time really. It's very like something like The Living Daylights to me. They're both films I really like. There's films I like more, but not films I like wildly more. It is in the top tier of Roger. Bond films generally, but it's certainly for me the best Roger Moore film. I appreciate that's not a majority view. I think if you put it to the vote across most fans, The Spy would win. But For Your Eyes Only, I just think is just the best story, best performance, best most things. But it's not as iconic as some of the other films.
Yeah, a few people might say, "Oh, that's the boring Roger Moore film," which I can kind of understand their view in it, but it's compared to his other stuff. So I think if you generally like Roger for being like a bit more like silly and wacky and that, then this would be. Well,
if this is a course correction from Moonraker, if you love Moonraker, you might resent a course correction.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and I sort of. I think that, as well, a lot of our love for these films, particularly our generation, is born of the fact that when we were very young, Roger Moore was James Bond. Or a lot of the films, in your case, Chrissy, you were just sort of missing him as Bond, but it was dominating the TV schedules. His Bonds were just old enough that they had the TV rights to, but new enough that it still had some cachet in showing them. So they would have dominated the viewings, the screenings, on ITV at the time. Because For Your Eyes Only is not as easy a watch when you're a kid as The Spy Who Loved Me or Moonraker, where you've got, Jaws in both of them with the big teeth, and even The Man with the Golden Gun with little knick-knack and things like that. I think that you can quite often get to adulthood without the same fondness for this film that you might have for other ones, regardless of its objective quality. So, I mean, I certainly didn't get to adulthood with this as one of my favourites. It's grown on me as an adult. So, I can kind of see why it's ended up where it is in people's affections. But I honestly think it's comfortably better than anything else he did. But that's just my opinion. I know some people feel differently.
Yeah, do you think it's so popular? Do you think it kind of has that kind of pull because, as you mentioned earlier, there are so many similarities to Majesties? Or do you think it's just coincidence?
I think Majesties is a lot of things. I think Majesties, I'm genuinely beguiled by sort of his relationship with Tracy. But I love the visuals, and I do like the visuals in this one. I don't know, in all honesty, because I do think the most logical double bill with On Her Majesty's Secret Service is this one. And given it's my favourite, there might be something in that. But there's nothing to really the love story in this. It's not an all-time classic villain or anything. I just think it's a wonderful Roger Moore performance and a properly told story after a couple of films that just descended into more and more arsing around, which is fine if it's funny, but most of the time it wasn't. I just think this is way better than anything else he did.
It's kind of a bit conflicting. You think part of you thinks like, well, he should have probably bowed out after Moonraker and let someone else take over. It was like a perfect.
That's the funny thing. He arguably shouldn't be here to do this one.
Yeah.
But we got the best from him. What would he have been at this point? He was born in 27, but he's fairly late in the year, so he'd have been about 53 when this came out. So yeah, definitely getting too old for it. But I mean, he aged well. It doesn't negate the fact he's too old. But, you know, certainly in his early performances, it was really difficult to believe he was like 45, 47, 49. It was only in the last couple that you were really like, no, this is getting too much now.
Yeah, I think it's from, you say from Octopussy now, it's like, yeah, okay.
I mean, I think you could argue earlier than that, but certainly by Octopussy, it's like, yeah, there's not really much defence now.
I think this would have probably been a good one to go out on and let someone else take over and like in the kind of similar direction.
Yeah, I mean, we could have had. Would have been nice to have Tim from '83. Yeah, definitely. Because then, even if you'd had the sort of interregnum we did have, Dalton would have got Moore would have got 4 or 5 films. Dalton would have got 4, and I think that's probably a better mix of what I would like. But he gave us this film, and I mean, I really like Live and Let Die as well. So yeah, there's certainly Roger Moore stuff that I do like. So that is our tribute to the late Roger Moore. We lost him today. Very hard. It's the first James Bond to die from the main series, from the main 6 as it is at the time of recording. He was the oldest, so I guess it wasn't that much of a shock, but none of us knew he was ill. So yeah, he will be missed.
He kept working until recently as well, didn't he? So
yeah,
we know people on Facebook who've seen him live in the last 6 months. I saw him about 18 months ago when he came down this way. I'd have seen him again had he come down this way last time, but he didn't. He concentrated more on the north of England this time. But he was a wonderful storyteller, an extremely nice man. And what's great about having had Roger Moore as James Bond, whether you like him as James Bond or not, is that there's nobody else really. When they did the 50th anniversary, there was nobody else who was going to put that time to promoting it. No. You know, he went around the country with like the box set and everything, you know, the Bond 50 box set, and promoting the series where you can't get Sean Connery to do anything. It's arguably not appropriate to get Lazenby, because if you're selling a box set with 22, 23 films in it, why would you get the guy who played it once? And that was decades before. I think it was probably too close to Pierce's reign for Pierce to want to get involved in it. He's a very busy actor anyway. So in some respects, Roger Moore sort of carried the load for the sort of classic Bonds into sort of modern times. And I don't imagine he was getting a vast amount of money for it. I think there was just a goodwill towards the part, and he clearly loved playing the character.
I just think, like, what a life he's lived as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's sad to lose him, partly because he was so vibrant till recently. You know, he was still... I mean, I could tell when I went to see him he wasn't moving as well as maybe once he did. And the other thing I noticed is when it went to audience Q&A, his hearing was seriously failing. Probably why he always works with the same presenter, because they know how to talk to each other and make sure he's been heard and everything else. But because he still had an incredibly sharp memory, and a lot of older people I've known towards the end of their lives have had failing memories. You know, he was still remembering all these stories, and you know, he'd occasionally be asked a question, and it would spark a story, and you think, well, you don't get asked that every night, so that is a genuine memory that's just occurred to you. So I think that's what makes it more of a shock. If you look at it, I mean, it would be less of a shock if it was Connery, because Connery looks frail. But if you look at his age, he's 5 months, his birthday's 3 days after mine. He's 5 months shy of 90. That ain't too bad. And for most of that time, he's been a sizable star. He's lived in wonderful locations. He's been well off. He's been welcomed around the world. And he's produced films that people will carry on loving, largely because they're in the Bond franchise. But he will always be part of the history of this series. And so he will be in every box set that's sold, if it's the whole series. He will be in sort of compilations and montages from the series and advertisements for the box set and so on. He will always be a major name. certainly as long as the Bond series is.
And also, he's actually some people's favourite. I mean, as much as like the popular opinion is Connery's the best.
It's an entirely defensible point of view
for many people, it's their personal favourite is Roger. So
which is a perfectly defensible view because he has such a unique take on the character. It's a much easier point of view to defend than, say, Brosnan.
Yeah.
And I'm not using this to bash Brosnan, but when he came along, it was such a fresh take on it. He had something new to do with the character. He found his own interpretation of it.
I think that's what you found. Yeah, we found as well by doing this podcast as well. You know, by the time we got to Roger, it was like, oh, you know, finally a breath of fresh air. Oh, when he stepped on scene.
Yeah, I mean, Diamonds Are Forever was not a fun film to watch.
No.
People talk about, it's very like a Roger Moore Bond film. Well, Roger Moore Bond films were never that sort of misanthropic.
And ugly looking.
They were never that drab. So yeah, by the time he came along in Live and Let Die, it was like, thank goodness for that. And he was very good in his first couple. They started tailoring it more to him, which probably made him more comfortable in the role, but it was actually less what I wanted. But yeah, he had his own take on it, and you've got to be really respectful of that because the two real iconic portrayals of the role are him and Connery.
Definitely. I mean, I don't really sort of, as much as Daniel Craig is liked, I don't think he's as iconic.
It's very difficult to be now, obviously, because you're a smaller part of an ever-increasing series. Let's see where we are 10, 15 years down the line.
I guess.
I certainly think Casino Royale...
I think it's too soon just yet, I would say.
Like it or hate it, I do think Skyfall gets talked about enough that it will be considered one of the sort of name Bond films, if you like. Let's see down the line. But at the moment, if the series stopped this minute, he's one of the two iconic Bonds.
Definitely. Well, you know...
Rest in peace, good sir.
Rest in peace, Roger. Well, you
You'll
will
be
be missed. Yeah, said at the same time. Very sad news, but huge amount of respect and just what a life.
Affection.
What a life.
Yeah, definitely.
What an achievement as well. What like the amount of stuff this guy's done. We'd all dreamed to do like a fifth as much, don't we? You know, so it's.
I think also Daniel Craig would tell you it's not easy to be in the public eye for this long in this role.
Not.
You know, how different it was in the 70s and 80s, I don't know, but we still had the gutter press then. And yeah, to be 12 years in one of the most famous parts there's ever been, if not the most famous, not necessarily the most successful, but certainly possibly the most famous, and to finish it in such good humour about the whole experience is a great testament to the man.
Yeah, some achievement, I think.
Okay, that's it for tonight, I think, folks. What's next?
Well, Creed. We're going to finish off Rocky.
Okay, so we've got to finish off Rocky. That'll be out probably by the weekend after this show, or we'll get this edited as soon as we can. Obviously, we normally put the commentaries between series, but different circumstances tonight, folks.
Yes, this is a kind of one-off special.
Yeah, I think we feel like we kind of have to, don't we? You know, it's understandable why.
It's an exception.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good night from me.
Good night from him.
And it's good night from them. I think that works, doesn't it? Good night.
Good night.